Fnatic's turn to ban. Evil Genius's turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to ban.
Welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready to hop into our second series here at the Shanghai Major, and what a doozy it's going to be. Evil Geniuses versus Fnatic. Before I talk to these handsome gentlemen over here, we actually already have a draft, so why don't we go ahead and hop into that, because we don't want anyone to miss those precious first picks and first bans. Gentlemen, this should be a good one. The last time these two teams met was back in Star Ladder 13 group stages, where again we saw the Fear Enigma, and on the other side they tried to pull out the Mushi Dusa. So I can't help myself. I got to hand it over to this gentleman to my immediate left, the biggest fan of Fnatic.
I already know what he's going to say. Now, don't give Nature's Prophet to an SCA team.
Most people here would say EG are the heavy favorites. Your job now, Winter, sell us all, sell everyone at home at why Fnatic are going to be able to pull out the upset.
I think number one is because I know that they have very good preparation this time. They came to China a lot earlier, like 1 week in advance compared to everyone else, and I know they had a specific amount of help from someone, which I don't want to say who, so they have very good preparation this time, and I believe they have the biggest chance among all the previous tournaments to do well here.
And then he was talking to me, oh, EG's going to get cocky. They're not going to ban Nature's Prophet or Chen, and they're going to give them one of them, and instead they're going to give them both.
They must be really confident, Winter. I mean, EG get their Darkseer Bounty Hunter as a 1-2 opener, and on the side of Fnatic, they will lead in with Nature's Prophet and a Chen. So.
Yo, that's actually a sick opener from EG, though.
Yeah.
The Bounty Hunter is something that doesn't make it to the second phase often if you pick a Chen, and he's really good at picking off a Nature's Prophet. Really good.
By the way, on the panel, of course, we're going to have our casters for this one, the incredible Toby1 and some Danish guy there on the end.
Yep.
Gentlemen, what are your early impressions about EG versus Fnatic?
I think it looks like EG have prepared specifically for this match, whereas Fnatic are still playing their standard picks. So, of course, Fnatic are going to be confident. They're here in the winners bracket for a reason. These are the picks that have worked for them, but EG seem very, very targeted. I wouldn't imagine EG doing this 1-2 opener against many other teams at the event. It's because they know Fnatic will go for this kind of style, and they were hoping either they prevent them from picking Chen, they scare them with their bounty, or they go for the Chen anyway, and they're like, okay, fair enough.
Shouldn't EG though be concerned? Like, you're picking up a bounty hunter into a Chen and a Nature's Prophet. Like, bounty
that's great.
Have great deep push though. Like, if you can screw with the Chen in the jungle, I agree.
That's why they have the Darkseer.
Yeah, the general idea here with their opening, Toby, is like when they have BH and Darkseer, it complements each other because you make your lane strong. And if you can actually do a lot in the early game with the Iron Shell and the Bounty, you can actually annoy the Chen so much that the lane becomes unbearable for the safe laner of Fnatic, and the whole tempo of the game becomes slow. And when you are running Chen, you don't want to be slow, and you want to be fast.
If you're Fnatic now, you need to realize that that safe lane needs to be someone who's good at laning against Darkseer, just flat out, and or perhaps a Darkseer and Bounty.
I mean, Oracle is pretty good versus both Bounty and Darkseer because you can remove the track, you can remove the surge, you remove the Iron Shell, you basically remove everything.
I am personally not that big of a fan of Chen Oracle as a support duo. I feel like it's too much of one thing. Like, you have a lot of heal, but you have very little disable. Oracle doesn't really complement Chen very well in terms of just that pushing power that Chen wants to bring. I think that every time I see that duo pick together, they just seem to lose the game.
I guess it's just a juggle between having a duo like that or the potential to take a Darkseer just completely out of the early game, though.
You can just zone them, though. You don't actually need the Oracle to zone them. We've seen heroes like Shadow Demon do very well on one-on-one zoning, but it is difficult because of the setup of the offlane.
Their comfort picks would probably be either Disruptor or Shadow Shaman from the group games. I saw like they mostly put Net on those two heroes. I'm not sure if they might change things up for something else, but those are the two picks that we see commonly for Net in this event. And EG right now have a draft that focuses a lot on their Iron Shell targets. They have heroes that can do really well by clearing Ancients, which we saw in the OG versus Secret series, how important was getting a hero that can actually do the Ancients and take advantage of that.
I like the idea behind this Bane pick a lot. I'm assuming it's because they need some sort of strong lane support to match up against Bounty Darkseer. Good synergy with Chen, you Nightmare, give plenty of time for that Chen creep to get in range, whether it's a Centaur or a Hellbear. and you just escort the Chen. I think Bane starts with a Dust, and you kind of play it as a duo right in the start and give Chen a little bit of space, and then you go help the safe lane. So like, once again, the safe lane are still, in my opinion, probably you're looking at a ranged hero to stand down there a bit alone.
They played Clinks a couple of games.
Clinks is okay, I guess. Or something like that.
This is something like what MVP would do as well with their safe lane. Bane Leshrac makes it very hard for the off laner. So a lot of it will fall onto the bounty to actually help the Darkseer get into the lane. Like the first wave, whether Darkseer gets level 2 is extremely crucial for their laning phase.
It does feel like Fnatic are playing more of a proactive than a reactive kind of a draft in the sense that they're looking to pick up what they feel is necessary for themselves. We saw that kind of similar trend in MVP series yesterday, and well, we saw the success that MVP were able to find with it here. We'll see though, as Evil Geniuses are just no team to scoff at whatsoever. Final ban is going to be on the Razor here from the side of EG, and for Fnatic, we'll have to see what they're going to be looking to rid of here. EG still do need to grab the Sumail hero.
I think Magnus or Ember would be my main two.
Do you like Lina? Do you think they need some D push against the Chen? They don't really have very good D push now though, like clearing the waves. What do you think, Syndra? Do you think that D push will be important for EG, or do they just draft for heavy team fight with the vacuum into stun?
I think they actually have enough control right now if they just play an explosive early game. There are multiple ways of doing it. I think Lina is a really nice pick because it's the best of both worlds, kind of. She's strong in lane, she's very easy to gank for the bounty hunter, I feel, and then you also have the deep push. But if you're looking for something else than that, then I think just a lane dominator for Sumail. There's going to be so much chaos that's going to be difficult for Fnatic to actually help that mid lane. And,
Really? I think it's like the opposite. I think you don't necessarily want to pick a hero that's easily ganked to the mid lane because they have NP as well as Chen. Like, you have to worry about threats coming in from both of the side lanes, not just one.
So you rather have a Queen of Pain, for example, or Pop,
Right,
I think Mag, personally.
or Mag?
Mag plus Sven plus Darkseer. I think it's good enough base defense that they can rely on it. Oh,
Wait a minute. Sumail's going to be playing something I haven't seen him play very often here.
It's good versus the Lash and good at catching out the Prophet. And you know, right now their general idea of their lineup is to keep getting kills with the track. So it looks like a pick that could work really well for EG this game.
Ion Shell and Bounty Hunter, Ion Shell and Nyx, and you just run Nyx to someone until he dies. It's the strat.
Seems like a good plan.
Pocket strat right there. Ben has this weird expression in his face.
I don't know where they're gonna lane the Nyx.
Mid?
Yeah, I think it's mid.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's
Do
mid?
you? I don't know. They've done some weird stuff. They did Bounty Hunter mid before. Like, I don't know what's going on with that.
But isn't it clear that Bounty plus Witch Doctor will be the supports and Nyx would be a core? You don't think so?
Maybe. I think they'll see what the matchup mid is first.
Arteezy feels pretty confident as it is right now. This team is riding pretty well. They made their way through the group stage, Group D, 2-1 against Complexity, and then followed up with a 2-0 series against Virtus Pro now.
Yeah, and right now the last pick for me, like most of the heroes he plays, like OD, Invoker, and all get countered by Nyx, or they're gonna go for something else, which would help them facilitate the push. And it's good in the lane as well.
The interesting thing here is how good Nyx is against both Prophet and Leshrac. I guess that's what triggered the pick for them. Obviously, you're off the map. It's very difficult for Prophet to split push, but against Leshrac, he just has so much AoE damage. You're always going to hit Spy Carapace on him. And until he has BKB, there's like no way you don't get stunned by the Nyx, and then he can obviously follow through.
He's
Mana Burn is great
gonna
against
have-
How's he gonna? Yeah, he's gonna have a hard time
His-
though.
his
Like, how are you
lane
gonna lane
is-
him?
his lane is
Yeah, the
very-
lane is really difficult. That's the.
Do you think they might change their lanes because of that? Like put Darks, I don't know, like Darkseer.
I really like the Viper pick for that reason. I think
It's very hard for them to lane right now. It's difficult. Maybe they'll just like sack his lane and hopefully they just bounce back with kills with track later on.
Can you put Nyx solo top and do like Sven Witch Doctor mid? With the threat of Bounty rotating in and the Darkseer off lane drawing attention to themselves, and then
Nyx still loses to Prophet though. That's the
yeah,
issue.
Yeah. The reason I think Nyx is weird is because there's a lot of overlap with Bounty Hunter,
yeah.
which is good versus their heroes, but it's its strength, it weakens their overall.
The
lineup.
composition is not as good.
Yeah.
It's good versus enemy, like it counters enemy heroes, but I'm not sure about the composition.
It's a nice pose.
It is something new from EG. It is a best of 3, so I suppose they have the one-game flexibility. It almost does feel a bit reminiscent from when we first saw Sumail get his hands on the Timber Saw, and even in that case, he ran him in the safe lane a bit. It's just, I don't know what to expect. I wager this is the first time we'll see Sumail play the hero, so I'm very eager to see what EG do have in store for us. And I wouldn't put past EG that this is something you're alluding to at the start of the draft, something that they have premeditated here, maybe specifically for Fnatic.
It just seems like such a weird opener and such a weird draft to go if it's not 100% prepared. Like there's nothing meta about that opening at all. Like Bounty Hunter, Darkseer, none of these heroes have been first picks. Maybe Darkseer situationally in some of the games we've seen here, but compared to all the other heroes that were in the pool, it's very, very unusual. And it's really interesting because regardless of the outcome of this game, there is no way the second game is going to be remotely close to this from EG's perspective. I think the draft, this is like one of those one-off you just burn. And then if it works, Fnatic are going to start completely revamping their first phase, or if it doesn't work for EG, you just go back to something more stable, I think. So a little bit of a pocket strat, I guess you could say.
I mean, typically when we look at the numbers for EG coming into this, and of course this might be because they've been favoring a lot of like the Enigma and Jungle Farmers. This is a team that already through the Shanghai Major are #1 on GPN at the 15-minute mark, and also #1 and around #2 for last hits at 25 minutes, #1 net worth at from 5, 15, 25 pretty much throughout the whole game, and #1 in Jungle Farming. Doesn't really feel like this is going to be a lineup that's going to be able to do the same, but should be an interesting one nonetheless. It sounds like we are going to have a game, so let's send it over to our two fantastic casters over on the other side of the panel. It's Toby and Sin. Gentlemen, enjoy EG versus Fnatic.
Thanks a lot, Dakota, and we definitely will. Syndrin, you're fantastic.
You're fantastic too, Toby. Let's hug it out.
It's nice listening to all you guys talking about the draft. Because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Fnatic's draft and I'm feeling wonderful elements of push, stability in the lanes. The Nature's Prophet, we've seen him time and time again throughout the majors, and even before the majors. He's just everywhere, always supporting, always helping out. And EG, with what almost seems to be like we have to harass and then get instant pickoffs with the effect of the Nyx Assassin and the Bounty Hunter, I feel like EG have set themselves a really difficult task in this game.
It's, in a way, you could say that EG are under pressure to do things, but on the other hand, I also don't think it's that difficult to pull off the kind of chaos that they're looking to make in the early game. You already see they're going to invade the opponent jungle and secure this bottom rune. They might actually try to go for both runes. Well, they're going to stick around with 5 here, hoping for Fnatic to come contest a bit.
I want to watch and see where Fear also puts his sentry wards, because they just planted that one observer ward right on top of the Radiant observer ward, and DJ's going to come over and instantly get rid of this. So EG's movement inside the jungle, or to watch DJ's movement inside the jungle, it's going to have to be Bounty Hunter stalking this channel left, right, and center. And we see which camps also Fear wants to block up. Normally you do just take out this easy hard camp, which is exactly what Fear's moving towards now. And he'll only commit a sentry for it.
Can he make it to the top camp? I'm wondering if he can make it to the top camp before 30. He's going to try to courier snipe. I don't think Fnatic is going to fall for this now.
Well, mid one's not even buying anything. And is he even really forced to? Like, he's up against a Nyx Assassin. Like, you don't really need to have like that early salve thrown out to you, because you can just play aggressive in the lane anyway with 2 shared tangos.
Absolutely. This is such an easy lane for the Viper. He doesn't even need to be that scared of the bounty rotation, because I think those two together can't kill him. But if there's any additional hero brought in, obviously PPD would be the main choice, then you have kill potential. But he's busy up top.
Yeah,
trading with Ohio and not really winning.
At least Ohio didn't have the tree and sandwich with the Storm Bolt. They used both their stuns, and Ohio's got his own creep wave coming in. They don't have enough damage. Ohio will survive barely. Goes back into the safety. And he'll buy a TP scroll, but he'll have to walk all the way back to base to regenerate. And Fear, he is stalking DJ. He is not giving this Chen any kind of space. They actually battled for the D ward previously, as we're showing up on the screen. But DJ tried to escape him by going up that northern camp. And Fear's just keeping with him. And DJ will also have to go back. So this Chen, no early rotations coming out from him. And is that really like the big thing? Like, you've now got like mid one who's still having himself a pretty easy trade lane here with Sumail. Mushi's getting a lot of space on this Latrak on the bottom lane. Obviously it's never the easiest time because you're going up against Iron Shell Harass. And you can't really do anything about the Darkseer. The lanes almost feel like so passive that Fnatic can't find an opening, because the Chen's just taken out of play.
I do think it's good enough so far for EG for sure with what they've done. Just pressuring the Chen out like this. Darkseer got quite a bit out of that bottom lane in terms of levels. He's going to find his level 3 at this hard camp now. And what I think we didn't see on camera was that Fnatic actually tried to kill him in the lane. They use Edict, they just start running him down with Leshrac and Bane just hitting him, because they want to bait out the Surge and then Nightmare. And then ultimately they take him down to about half
mid
health.
one, real trouble, Fear initiating in, and now he's going to actually consume up the Fairy Fire. The bottle will arrive, but he can't get the charge off in time. EG will take first blood. Ohio is coming down under the cover of that invis room, but if he just went in, actually nothing would have happened. Samel's completely out of mana. But that's just EG waiting for the right time, and mid one getting caught out.
I really didn't think they would be able to get this kill with those two heroes. It's very impressive how Sumail has managed to play this lane so far. He's played it pretty evenly up against the Viper, and obviously has been able to set up just a little bit of damage before Fear rotates in, and it's good enough to be able to get that kill. And since this was the lane EG were supposed to lose, now that they got the first blood in that lane and Sumail is looking good on levels, honestly, this was the biggest concern for me for EG's draft early on, and they've overcome that part already.
When Sumail actually hits level 6, do you even want him to stay here in the middle lane, or is there someone else that should rotate into the mid? Is that like when PPD, for example, gets some space to get levels? Because it's very difficult to put anyone else in there up against the Viper.
Fear could also get his track that way. Lane in the mid lane, because, you know, him being mid...
Oh, Ohio, top lane, it started again. All the boys in the panel called it. Hits the invis into Iron Shell, and the damage started on Ohio, and all PBD had to do was walk out of the trees. And now that's 2-0 in favor of EG. Sumail falling very low in the mid to the attack from mid one. But not low enough. And mid one going all out aggression too. A 2-2-0 build coming out from this Viper. No points up in Corrosive Skin.
Yeah, that's why they could get the kill, actually. And now he's finally going to get a point. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't get one value point. I mean, sure, you're laning against the Nyx, who generally doesn't pose much of a threat, but it's still just, whenever he hits you or casts a spell, just taking that, getting that slow in is really important.
Ned's just being a pain to Universe. He can't do this too much because he knows Fear was roaming around the mid. Even with his haste rune, he's got to give a little bit of respect to that rotating bounty.
And this is what we need to keep an eye out for Fnatic. So we've talked about
mid one. Oh, is he dead again? It looks like he's dead again.
He really is. There's a Prophet.
Started with a tornado. Prophet comes in too late, and he's so low on levels because he hasn't got that much out of the offlane. PBD's done a really great job of zoning out Ohio. That you don't have that Wrath of Nature. You don't have Nature's Prophet ready to TP in every single time. And when the attack comes in from EG, it seems to like always catch like mid one by surprise.
And it's just been difficult for Fnatic to seemingly help him. I'm a little bit surprised that the Bane hasn't moved more, because it's very clear that Darkseer is just getting a lot out of the jungle. Mushi can easily stand in this lane on his own. He's already started pushing the tower, and that's what I was getting at. Fnatic, this super early game has not worked out. It's time to put some pressure and force EG to play on newer terms, and this is the first step toward it. 3 points in Edict, you go for this tower. EG are probably just going to sack it, actually, but it's a start for Fnatic in this game.
Yeah. They're trying to slow down the wave, but already that tower's been brought down. The Iron Shell creep didn't even get there in time before the tower dropped. So with 3-0 on the board, EG still having a great time. You lose your tier 1 tower on bottom lane, sure. But Arteezy's getting free farm. Like he's almost, he's not double the CS, but he's getting pretty damn close to that once he'll take a couple of stacks up against Mushi. So this Ven's getting more and more and more. EG also have a lineup which it wouldn't be too difficult just to slip inside the Roche pit. Or they just keep farming, stacking, mid one again. Sumail, this time it's Vendetta attack. Fear will come as well. And we've basically got the Invis Bash Brothers just rotating across the map, fighting anyone they want to kill. And Viper, who's normally difficult to kill, is proving to be like paper.
He must be really regretting his skill build right now. I actually think if he had gone for Classic 113, he might not have died a single time. But EG obviously just taking advantage of his confidence in the mid lane. I'm not sure if they read his
They're going to go again.
Build, but
Sumail has illusion rune, so they're able to go underneath that tower. Arteezy will land the stun as well. But Ohio, he's low, but not low enough. Mushi comes in with the Pulse Nova. The Nightmare from Net actually making it difficult for Mushi to pump out the damage, but they do still have enough. As Nyx Assassin picked off. Very aggressive play. Like the chance of that really working should be low unless like Fnatic had TPs on cooldown.
But it's not. This is how you confirm that it is Sumail playing on his account. It's that there's some sort of reckless dive that is super high risk. This time it doesn't work, but I think there's a bit of margin for error for him. The lane went so unexpectedly well At least from my perspective, this might be EG's plan all along, and they thought they were gonna just crush this lane. But there's a little of he can make a mistake like that, and
In a way, it does create
it did
space.
force rotation. Exactly, it creates space. Fear is getting some very good levels. He's level 5 now in minute 7 on Bounty. If Bounty has a bad game, sometimes you see him getting level 6 around like minute 15, and that's just not gonna happen this game.
But EG read it, like, they know that Fnatic are going to be pushing in this top lane. Surprisingly, though, they leave Arteezy up here. And with the Sprout, they got pretty damn good vision of him. The Treants kind of stopped chasing Arteezy into the trees. He's not TPing out just yet. In fact, he's wrapping around behind. And Samel surged forward, looking for a target, sitting inside Vendetta. DJ dropping very, very low. The power's in cask as well. Mushi can't escape from this one. They back him back in again. DJ will drop Ohio. He was sent back by the Chen as the last-ditch effort. And Ohio, he can't even do that. The body will be sent home to his family as Net. He's also now managed to grab the aggro of the creep wave, and he's got Fear hot in his tail. Janada's off cooldown. All they gotta do is just rip into Net. They may not be able to reach him though. Like the phase boots are there from Fear, but he doesn't want to trigger them.
Oh, he went phase. Yeah, you're right. Then maybe he could have reached, because they have the same base move speed, so he's actually not really catching up to the Bane. Or actually, they don't. But Bane has the arcanes. But anyway. EG get 3 kills. They do lose the tower. Did they deny it? They did not. So that fell to the drain. So at least Fnatic accomplished that, but this early game is looking very, very grim for them. Sven is getting great farm. By the way, super play from Arteezy there. I don't think we highlighted that enough. How he crawled through 2 trees to find a flank angle and get in behind Fnatic. We're not expecting that at all. So very big individual play from him.
And Fnatic were probably expecting they had full control. Like they managed to wrap around the town. They had creep wave on top of it. They weren't really seeing EG, but like, they're still playing up against double invis, this Nyx Assassin and Bounty Hunter. And again, here comes the gank. They go after DJ, and they'll find him. There's going to start to be track kills coming the way of EG, and the money will just start to skyrocket. Especially as they'll start pushing down buildings as well, because they still haven't taken a tier 1 tower. But you're 8-1 in, and you've already got a 2.5k advantage without taking a tower, and you're actually behind by 2 tier 1 towers. Just shows you just how much EG has gotten out of the landing phase and the following kills.
And when you see this unfolding, it makes you wonder. You know, it's understandable that Fnatic are confident in their own strategy, but they willingly picked Chen into this Bounty Hunter Darkseer opening, which I think both heroes are actually good against Chen. So they really, in a way, set themselves up for disaster when they could have easily just adjusted the draft, kept the Prophet as a good opener, and just taken it in a different direction.
Well,
DJ is a very talented player. He can play so many different heroes and roles in the game. It doesn't have to be this kind of style.
Oh, they're using the tree to scout out Arteezy right now, so they're going to see him, but Arteezy pops the war cry, and the movement speed will allow him to outrun the rest of this Fnatic Smoke gang squad. TP support's coming in as well from PPD in case they go a little bit further. So all Fnatic can do is throw down the ward. But you're right, man. I think actually you said it perfectly during the draft. Fnatic draft exactly what they've been doing previously. And like, if there's one thing we know about EG, as the tournament goes on, they learn more and more and more about their opponents and what they're going to do. Now, the sample size is a lot smaller for a group stage format like what we had for this major, but they seem to like instantly have Fnatic's number. PPD didn't even delay to go for that double opening. Like, he knew what they were going to get into and how they would execute it. And this Nyx Assassin pick is just, it's paid off after the Viper died. That was one thing that probably EG couldn't bank on, like the non-corrosive skin build. But now DJ, here we go again. Net's in the neighborhood. They need to try and save DJ, but they cannot do it. But they will see Samel. The dust went out, so they both have a vision on Samel as well as Fear if they can keep up with them. And Ohio TPs himself in a little bit further forward, but now the Sprite actually blocks up the rest of his teammates. They have to run around the tree line. And this actually helps Samel to escape. Samel actually carrying that quelling blade, so he's able just to get himself outside of the Sprout. And both Fear and Samel expend the time of the dust and just walk away.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It is so hard to play a lineup like Fnatic's with this early game that they've had. You've got to be terrified with going anywhere, and even inside your own jungle, you don't feel safe. We're 10 minutes in, and you can just tell that they're having a very difficult time making calls because they have no information to go on. There are missing heroes, but they can't even just ward and see their rotations to an extent.
This is what you actually brought to. Ohio with an observer ward TPs into the Roche pit so he can leech the ancient experience. This is like, you're not able to make any kind of plays. Like, maybe if the Viper actually had a better time in mid and you had a mech, then this 5-man push from Fnatic would be a hell of a lot scarier. Like, you wouldn't even want to go into a team fight if you're EG. let alone have the option to actually find pickoffs. But now they're going to go. Sumail finds a stun over on net, the follow-up from Arteezy. They get another one, Fear. He was trapped inside the Sprout for a short period of time. Again, they go with the dust as Mushi actually isolates Fear up near the Ancients. He's going to find that pickoff himself as Ohio, DJ, and mid one, they're all chasing after a new target. A double stun from Sumail. I'll actually give space for Arteezy to escape once again. So it ends up just being a 1-for-1 trade-off. At this point in the game, maybe you're actually happy with that as Fnatic.
Oh, you definitely are. You got the kill bounty on the Leshrac, so he almost gets a full Yule Scepter at this point. And maybe they can transition this into a mid tower. And this is the one thing EG need to be a little bit careful with, is giving them opportunities. If EG lose a fight, they lose an objective. That's just Fnatic's lineup right there. Treants, level 4, Diabolic Edict, Chen creeps, whole shebang. Chen's level 5, by the way.
With no hand of God, I was talking about how difficult it is without the mech, let alone having a Chen who just cannot find his level 6 13 minutes into a game. And you can thank a lot of that to what Fear was doing. Like that bounty pick straight to the Chen. Who cares about like deep push when you can actually stop him from ever reaching a point where he's got enough strength to push. It's also great for Arteezy the fact he's managed to slip himself past that. Like sometimes that was that danger point with the Sven where you weren't sure with the helm of the Dominator if you'd be punished. But he's already got the Yasha up and running.
He is super farmed.
Yeah, he's
No
sitting
one's
at
even close to
6.4k net worth, 13 minutes in. He's very happy with his position.
And you're looking at it and you check the relative difference to Mushi, but then you keep in mind Mushi just got a 700 kill bounty for killing that bounty hunter. So just in terms of raw farm, the Sven is doubling him up pretty much. Sven has 119 CS, there's 64 on the Lash. But that's a pretty rare sight nowadays.
The money still goes to good use. Like you get a Yule Scepter now from Mushi. That's something which at least allows him to control up a hero during the team fight, dispel off that track if he's on it, or potentially set up for a Fnatic gank as well. Yule's into that split earth and just find a very quick pick. And there isn't anyone really on EG that's got a good escape from that.
I would argue Sumail is okay against it.
Because
you get Yuled and then you insta-carapace when you land, and then you at the very least keep yourself safe for a little bit of time and you stun up the Leshrac guaranteed if he tries to combo you at all. But apart from that, yeah, it's a good item on Leshrac in general. The one downside for Mushi though, he is so fragile. If he doesn't get to cast the Yules in the first place, he can just get blown up. Like Nyx's combo on him right now probably deals about like 600 or 700 damage. Leshrac sitting on 6 armor, Vendetta hits pretty hard. You just need a shuriken toss and he's dead.
I kind of want to watch Sumail very closely here. He's managed to pick up a double damage rune. And still doesn't use his Vendetta just yet. Fear's doing the scouting as Fnatic are moving around in force.
Very good ward.
It's basically a 4-1 at the moment because you've still got that push going on the top lane. Fnatic, now they actually drop down the sentry ward. With the Chen army around the side, they've actually scouted out Fear. So they understand what's going on, but that ward, as you said, from EG, it sees everything. Ned initiated on. Can they find the kill? The Hand of God kicks in. Ned, he's going to Nightmare. Can't deny himself up. Being sent back by the Chen with the Brain Sap. He'll stay alive. The Death Ward not doing enough from PPD. And this is the best fight the Fnatic's had so far until the Vac Wall from Universe. They've still picked up PPD. The double stun from Arteezy. They're not going to follow it through. Mid one and net, they're chasing over. And EG, they're just legging it out. They've had enough of this.
That looked like a fairly good engage from EG, but the Hand of God, a big save there onto the Bane, and allows them to TP back in the Bane and be fighting ready there. A lot of abilities obviously committed from EG for that opener. I think the one key tool that they were lacking to set up the fight the way they were looking for is a mobility item on the Nyx. There was no Blink Dagger, there was no Force Staff, either of those two, and they just blow up the Bane there and take the fight by storm.
Fnatic just smoked underneath the Dire Observer Ward in mid lane. They had 4 heroes right on top of that Observer Ward and smoke, and now they'll move looking for a kill, but EG is obviously very aware of this, and they're backing out. Fnatic are ready for the fight. A little bit more of an interesting position considering Mushi is the one carrying the dust, and not Net, who I'd assume would be the front liner. Maybe with the Yule Scepter you can understand it more for a Leshrac.
It's just, well, they don't really have a good hero to put on. I think they should maybe put it on the Viper, honestly. Like you said, from a frontline perspective, that's the best, but if it comes to solo kill potential, you know that Mushi, if he just dusts the bounty, he will kill him alone. So that's the advantage there. I ran out of...
Yeah.
Oh? Okay. Alright, I'm not sure what's going on. We're okay. We're good. I'm just panicking over here. Don't
You're
worry
cool.
about me.
Relax, Syndra. We're good.
With that said, though, I probably should switch my batteries. So.
Oh, Fnatic. They're going on the mid lane. PPT being stunned up. Mushi actually didn't start with the Yule this time around. Used the lightning to slow down PPD, and this is what we're talking about with Fnatic, where all you gotta do is just run yourself in, find yourself a kill, and then instantly take an objective after. Edict's on cooldown for the moment, and they still have to be a little bit cautious. They don't know exactly what Arteezy's managed to pick up. It's an S&Y, so there's no blink dagger for Arteezy, and in fact, he's getting close. Yeah, now he's actually visible to Fnatic, so they're very aware of it. But with the army of Treants, the Chen army behind him, and Edict coming back off cooldown, Mushi is still very defensive on the back line. He's refusing to show himself, while the tier 2 tower is slowly being whittled away. The fortification will wear off in Arteezy. They found Ohio Sumail. Again, the double stun with the impel, but Ohio just protected by the knife for a moment, and then back from Universe. Absolutely perfect. Elisa's Earth will stop that death ward, but Fnatic are going to lose absolutely everyone in the mid lane. It's a double kill for Arteezy, almost a full team wipe, and it probably will be. Nyx Assassin's got the blink so he can catch up to net, and they will find it. A full team wipe up against Fnatic. EG with a great fight, and Fnatic, they looked good. They looked in a position, or at least a position they wanted to have, but EG just played it out so well.
Yeah, they were about to gain some ground. They almost took 5 towers now against only the 3 of EG. Considering how hard they got shut down early, I still think they're playing their lineup fairly well. But when it comes to these team fights, Universe is incredible on the Darkseer, obviously getting a great back wall there, and the blink dagger on Nyx has just paid dividends immediately after he got it. That was the second consecutive fight where he's just landing these just game-winning stuns as the opener. And it's so easy to just follow off for EG. The moment they get ahead in the fight, you just look at Fnatic's lineup. How are they ever going to team fight if they don't initiate? Like, if they lose a hero in the beginning, what's their response? Their only real damage in team fights right now is Mushi. And he has 900 health.
Oh, Ohio.
Okay,
yeah. He found him. Does he have enough damage here? Obviously, you don't have like something like a Dag on him, but Ohio, he's running. He doesn't start the TP. He sprouts up Fear, who doesn't have a way to get out of the sprout. But Ohio, like, okay, he's holding on to his TP. Actually, will use his TP scroll as opposed to just the teleportation ability.
Yeah, good choice. Now they can try to make a play because they got some information about the bounty hunter. He might teleport top and look for PPD. That's exactly what they're going to do. Very nice here from Fnatic. Should net them a kill. A little bit of layering of stuns here, or disabling, but that's fine. Oh, courier!
Yeah, that shouldn't be there.
PPD really wanted that 19-minute earn. Sumail have to wait.
Sumail's prepping himself for revenge. He's hiding in the tree line. He doesn't have any help though. And there is the Radiant Sentry Ward that just got planted down, so they're looking for the Cliff Ward. It doesn't exist though. It's a little bit further down to the southeast, as well as one sitting in the mid lane. But it's a breathing space for Fnatic. Not a hell of a lot, because you've still got Arteezy freely farming across the map. Like, he picked up the S&Y just before that fight began in the middle lane. Now he's already got a blink dagger and another 2.1k gold on this Sven. He is a beast. Like, the amount of money he's managed to pull in, right now he's sitting at over 600 gold per minute. And same for the experience.
And this is when we start looking at win condition, right? How can Fnatic actually win this game? And
I can see how they can stall the game.
I'm looking for answers here of how to do it. It's kind of an all-in draft for pushing early, unless if you don't allow the enemy team to farm as much as they have. But when you're this rich on this Sven, you have all of this setup. They have so many stuns. If Fnatic want to win this late, they need to tailor their entire itemization around countering the Sven now. There is no other way. He's just that far ahead. EG are even on the Dire. They have Roshan advantage, and contesting the Roshan for Fnatic is so difficult against all of this invis. They just don't have information.
How could you counter the Sven though? Like right now, Arteezy could just like buy himself up a BKB and jump into the fight. They can't really stop that.
This could be an Axe Viper game, honestly, because there's one hard, like very strong core on the enemy team that you want to shut down. I think in those cases,
Viper will need to stay alive in order to actually get that kind of money mid one.
Dead one. Hey.
He's now died 5 times in the first 20 minutes. And
that's Roche too, I think.
Yeah, it should be. But they will have a trade-off. Ohio is pushing up the top lane a long way. I know you said like talking about win conditions. I'm thinking like maybe if you get like a Blink and Hex over on Nature's Prophet, but like he's staring down the barrel of what? Like he's trying to decide if it's a Maelstrom or a Hand of Midas as he try and play catch-up in this game. Do you bank on the fact that you can split push with the Nature's Prophet hard enough that EG would be forced into a trade position every time they want to push high ground?
I don't see a good alternative right now to split pushing. I think if he goes for something like a Hex build, the same question just poses itself.
It's an Axe.
How are you gonna kill Arteezy?
It's an Axe. He just picked up the point booster.
It's good. Go for the split push style. It's your best chance. I still think I still have a hard time seeing them winning the game because of it. But it's if they want to keep themselves have a fighting chance, it is the way to go. Like 5 manning at this point, you're just flat out gonna get maybe not 5-0 every fight, but you saw the tendency that was showing in the last fight.
Yep.
Now there's an Aegis. Sven almost has...
This is nice for Mushi, or is
AC.
it? Oh, it's nighttime, so the first one's going to be revealed. It's going to be Samel. Throws to the Spy Carapace. The silence will buy him a little bit of time. Mushi, he's just going to Fiend Script and Pulse Nova it down. And this is a nice kill for Leshrac. Another 614 gold injected into him. And that's actually huge for Mushi. Now he's only 400 gold away from completing up the BKB, which gives him the ability to stand during the EG fights. Apart from mid one who's dead again. Oh. That didn't take long.
The BKB is the correct item choice, I think, but he can't stand in the middle of the fight. He dies to Death Ward and 3 Sven hits. Sven, that's the problem I was talking about. Sven is just that far. Mushi is...
Is he going to get out of this? He's going to TP out, but Arteezy around the corner, the Stormbolt! While it was thrown, he actually got stunned back inside the base. So the stun applied, but the TP completed. And it wasn't even one of those global Stormbolts that flew. Or else that stun wouldn't have been instant.
Yeah, Arteezy already used his blink. That's one of those moments where it would be nice to know if he overshot his blink or timed it perfectly, because that's like the difference between life and death there for the Leshrac if he did overshoot it.
Notice Arteezy's build as well. I was wondering if this Hyperstone would go into an Assault Cuirass to try and go for like... It's actually a Moonshard. Yeah. The second Hyperstone's flying up the Kur at the moment.
They don't really need the armor from AC right now. I think he just needs to... This is more... I actually don't know the math behind just raw farm, because obviously the minus armor allows you to clean up camps a little bit faster, but I would say this is the better economy and farming build probably is that Moonshard. And from a teamfight perspective right now, again, Fnatic, you either control this Sven constantly or you just lose heroes within a matter of seconds.
EG.
And we haven't talked about the vacuum combo with Sven either. There are some very famous moments in Dota with vacuum into Sven Cleave, vacuum into Stormhammer. I think the vacuum Sven Cleave that's very famous was the ultra kill that I can't remember who got it at. It was at the Thor Open. It was Fear who got it at Thor Open in 2012, I think. And then there was the vacuum Stormhammer at TI3 from Orange. So it's actually funny that those players are playing in this matchup that have some of the famous vacuum Sven moments. So EG. Maybe they're trying to remind Fnatic's players of what went down back then. Oh. It's a tough spot to be in. Sven's going to get another tower. Fnatic doing their best to split push though, and again, it is the approach, but I think this is when you're going to have to try to defend. You're not strong enough to trade.
Well, you're not really ready to defend though. Like Ohio still has his Wrath of Nature down, so you're missing a huge amount of damage to start the fight off. You at least take the mid tier 2. And there's a lot of momentum applied towards the top. It keeps Nature's Prophet now 70 gold away from having his full Aghanim Scepter. So then, actually, no, EG doesn't go in. Like, okay. You'd actually consider they would go all the way in. And stop that Prophet from going for the split push. Don't they feel stronger at this point in the game? Or is it still, you want to find the pickoffs with the Nyx and the Bounty Hunter? Like, you don't have that much confidence in your Sven without having, like, a big BKB behind him.
I think they might have gone high ground if the Aegis was on Arteezy. It's actually quite puzzling that it's on Fear. I don't know if that was a misclick when they picked it up, or if it was deliberate. It just seems like a very weird choice to put it on Bounty Hunter, to be honest.
It does.
So I'm gonna have to go with that.
Net. Interesting engagement. Net's gonna actually dust up Fear, and Fear's gonna track up Net. As Net walks back over the rest of his team, Sumail blinks himself forward. They're just chasing after him. With the extra Dagon damage from Sumail, he has enough to find that pickup before Fnatic can really do anything. And
they got the track off. I think Chen's dead too.
They may even lose the Chen army on to boot. No, DJ, there's Sumail right behind him. That movement speed. There's just no way to stop EG from chasing you down like this. And again, Ohio, like he's the only one that could potentially relieve the pressure of Fnatic by forcing EG to come back to the top lane.
Oh, this army is going to go down now. Sven actually using the God Strength for this. I think that might be a little bit of an overkill. There's no way of resummoning them for 20 seconds, and now they can't use the God Strength for high ground.
It might have been a misclick as well.
But, I mean, it's not. It doesn't really matter that much. If EG's game plan isn't to push high ground yet, they could just use this to farm another wave.
It looks like they're going to try
efficiency and
they're actually going to battle against the split push. Arteezy gets BTs over on this Sven, so he can come back. Ohio, top lane, Fear of the Sprout, but of course he still had the vision thanks to the track. So Ohio has been doing the best he possibly can to keep that top lane pressured and EG back, but you knew it was going to bite him in the butt at some point. Especially when Mushi as well as mid one now walk underneath the Dire Observer Ward into the Dire jungle. They're very, very visible. And Fear in Universe, yep, there it is, the Iron Shell over on Fear. surging him in so he can catch up to mid one. The Iron Shell damage starts over on mid one, and he realizes he can't get himself away. Universe will come over, they got the double Iron Shell. That's a really good stun though, with a follow-up from Mushi, the lightning damage, but of course, you've already got the Greaves up.
But it was a really good
Mushi has to
stun.
BKB to get himself out of here.
Yep.
With the TP. That's it's kind of weird, like, I don't know what they were trying to achieve, moving those two big cores up into EG's jungle, just after they also lost their profit on that top lane.
They're getting desperate. They feel like they need to find something, and they're not wrong. That was probably not the way to do it. You know, the whole map is just so scary to move on. Maybe you want to try to move in pairs, just in case EG try to make a play with, say, the Nyx and Bounty together as the only two, because they've done that quite a bit. If those were the only two there, I think Fnatic turn around that and maybe get a kill or two, but they were just outnumbered. Awesome, Male has found Mushi.
Yeah, he's willingly taking the damage from Mushi as Mushi.
Oh, this is not good.
Does he know something? He just used his stun. They're chasing it down, and Mushi can't TP himself out. Like, obviously there's no BKB. His TP's on cooldown.
Alright, Mad
He actually
Jukes.
buys his Void Stone, and wait, did he lose Sumail in the trees? He lost Sumail in the trees. Sumail ran down south and thought he was there. Mushi just needs another 8 seconds, then he can...
Wow.
Then he can actually TP himself out. Sumail has
Juked.
actually juked himself.
I'm really surprised that worked, but Mushi's gonna be very happy with that. Well, I don't know if he's gonna be happy with that, because he doesn't even know what was coming, I think. But
He felt something was wrong though. Like, he threw out the lightning. I don't know if he saw any kind of damage, because he didn't take any damage.
when is next Roche? We're looking at 1 minute until potential spawn time. I didn't notice the pop-up. I think it has been there. I can't even. I've observed so many games, and I still can't remember when it is that shows the Roshan respawn time. If it is when the minimum respawn comes, and then
it's easy to miss when you have like a whole bunch of items also coming up
Yeah.
around the same time. That's why it'd be really nice if the time actually showed the real time, it would spawn up for all our spectators.
I'll swim the BKB now. I was gonna say I really like the fact that RTZ went for Boots of Travel, because it shows that EG identify and prepare for the worst case scenario. They know they're ahead. The only thing they need to secure is that they don't get caught with their pants down and don't have TPs to come back to base and defend against the Prophet. They're way ahead in terms of team fight, both when you look at their farm but also composition. I would just say they're flat out better and playing to their own strengths right now.
You can see Sumail trying to make an opening there. He blinked himself forward and triggered this by a Carapace, so he got hit by the lightning. Unfortunately for him, the rest of EG aren't really ready to go. Like, this bounty hunter isn't like what you'd see as like your classic bounty hunter looking for something like a blink dagger. Instead, it's like this phase boot drum Vlad's into BKB build over on Fear. He's almost playing this as like a one-position bounty hunter.
I think Fear plays one of the best bounty hunters right now. He has a very different approach too. You're saying in this game, but I think in general, Fear just plays the hero fundamentally different from other players. Yeah, like you said, carry type of build this game. I think he's one of the only bounty hunters to go phase boots, if not the only one. Most others get the arcane boots and play more of a utility role. He's looking for more fighting. In this game, it's kind of a no-brainer because it's just better to get the mech on the Darkseer. So perhaps with that in mind, it's a little bit easier for him to make the call. But he's just done so much for his team this game. He's found like solo pickoffs because of his item build. It's not something you generally see a bounty hunter solo killing off Prophet. Maybe that's the game plan from him, is that my job this game, shut down Prophet, shut down Chen. I'll do it on my own if I have to.
And even if he doesn't just shut them down all the time, it's the fear of Prophet where he just cannot keep the split push going. And this allows EG to find themselves in a position where they don't have to be forced into a trade-off. Of course, Arteezy has gotten so much farm right now that not a lot's going to stop this. DJ very quickly TP's out. So he's out to safety. And his teammates to pick up, he's trying to get the Vlads. But he's still a while off from getting that. They're waiting for Roshan. EG is so unlucky though, it's almost the max spawn time for Roshan. So they have to wait a very long time before they can kick in. In the meantime, Mushi, he's still farming up. He's a long way from finishing up this scythe though.
1400 to go. He might have it for EG's high ground push if they wait for the Roche. Currently, Arteezy is posing in a very aggressive position. Looks like he just wants to go in. Oh, good nightmare.
Can they follow it up though? Not when Universe has 4-staff and Arteezy's facing the right way. But Fear is also in the neighborhood. They got the full Chen army in here, but Arteezy, he's forcing the issue. You never know when Roshan's going to spawn up, but the top lane's not pushing in that aggressively. Like, it's on its way, but it's not that bad. So you took out the tier 3 talent. If you get the Aegis Immortal, your next push is going to be pretty good. And in fact, yeah, now they come back. Easy money for Arteezy. He's up to 300, what was that, 383 CS, 31 minutes in on this event. He's going at 740 gold per minute on this event.
Please stay under 899 RTZ.
For all those
I think we
competitive
can all agree that's the important thing in this game.
Hey, I need him to get more kills. According to my prediction, I had Sven getting the most amount of kills in the game. Obviously wrong.
He just needs to get another 22 this game, then he surpasses OD, so... If Fnatic want to give you a helping hand, they could feed him like 5 times in the pound.
Fnatic would have to, like, they would actually have to really fight back and like, kill RTZ off multiple times in order to get this game back into balance. Like, because they're still, like, they're 21,000 net worth behind as well as experience behind. Now, Fierce scouts out the Roshan's up, and RTZ quickly jumps in. Sumel's going for killer style build, a level 3 Dagon on this Nyx Assassin. So they really want to keep these pickoffs going. The only concern I'll have is that, like, if EG don't win the fight, that Fnatic could find themselves back in this, and you won't find that Dagon being as effective for Sumel. But it looks like EG is undefeatable right now. With
it's
that
a very, 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 very big if they don't win a fight.
Watch the top lane.
I think Fnatic, once again, they need to play dodge
They're
as long as they can.
They actually broke the smoke. Like, those creeps were just about to die. They could have kept their presence here a secret and maybe caught off Sumel when he does exactly this. TPs into the lane with no other help. But because they didn't have anyone and EG was down doing Roshan, maybe just Fnatic didn't believe that's where EG was. Or they thought one person would come back by themselves and be overconfident and get the pick and just move on. Either way, EG take Roshan for no trade-off. In fact, also burn the smoke from Fnatic.
And I think this is about the time when EG start prepping to end the game. You look for RTZ maybe to finish off his Daedalus. If you want to play it really, really safe, you get him his buyback too, and then you just look to rolling. This time they gave the Aegis over to the Nyx. I think that's a very good choice. Sven, first of all, doesn't really have an inventory slot, and secondly, Sumail can now go for these aggressive blink stuns, set up the fight, and know that he has that safety net around him.
I'm interested to see if RTZ feels concerned enough that he saves for buyback. Because he's got the money for a Daedalus right now. If he wants the whole shebang. And Witch Doctor's getting very close to his Aghanim Scepter. Another critical item. They're just rolling in the money. And Ned's just waiting with his Chen army. He's been here for the last minute, hoping for an opportunity. And PBD is it. Ohio jumps in. There goes Shafine's crypt. And Ohio, well, there's no damage from the Wrath of Nature, but they have enough physical to get through PPD. Only just though. Like, that's how much effort you have to put into killing off the Witch Doctor. It's still good for Fnatic because they're able to slow down that Aghanim Scepter.
That kill right there really shows the state of the game and how little damage they have. This is a 35-minute Prophet that's struggling to kill a Witch Doctor in a full Fiend script with level 2 heal only. That wasn't even a level 4 Voodoo Restoration, so I guess he has some points and stats, right? But, yeah. But still, that's not what this kill should look like at this state of the game.
No.
There's the Daedalus, there's a Dagon 4. I like the gem pickup from Fnatic. Probably should have gone for it way earlier. I think it's one of the best items to buy if you're controlling the game very well or if you're really far behind. It's all about vision to make the right educated decisions.
I could understand them not picking it up though, considering every single hero and every single lane was dying.
Yeah.
So the ability to maintain possession of that would have been very difficult. At least now they have some other things, like it's not just a gem. That Scythe of Vice is now completed. So Mushi will have himself the disable. And they're instantly looking for a target. They ping out this Ven and they want to go for him.
He does have buyback.
But there's no blink on Mushi. So even though he's got this Scythe of Vice, he almost requires EG to run at him. And then just use that disable at an opportune time. Where's the rest of EG headed now? But obviously they still want to go through bottom lane. Like, there's no tier 3 tower down here, so this is the best place for them to go. And they can leave this event on the top lane if they want to, but RTZ's just legging it.
Yeah, I think it's go time now.
Which means it's Fnatic's defense time. That Scythe has to really play.
I wish them all the luck in the world for this fight.
Well,
they're gonna need it, I think.
The only buyback they've got is over on the Nature's Prophet. Actually, that's even worse, because RTZ, he can just buy back and BT back in if he wants to. Now the attack, RTZ with a Stormbolt, only onto mid one, but he is surged up with the Iron Shell mid one. The Hand of God cannot keep him alive. RTZ is stunned up. They forced off him away to safety as PPD lets the Death Ward rip a lot of damage into DJ, but no real killers. Mushi! 1399, he goes down. You got 1453 on that crit. Okay, you cannot repel physical damage of that magnitude. EG take the game 24-7 against Fnatic. And oh my, it took until that last little attack for Fnatic to actually admit this is over.
And realistically, if you look at the, like, over the course of the game, it's felt like since minute 10, you had a good feeling that EG were winning this game, and around minute 20, it's just almost over. Like, Fnatic have to accomplish so much. They got quite a few towers, like we talked about, but they have to sacrifice way too many kills in the process.